And we're live. Here it is. It is the check-in for Monday, May 23rd, of the cast of five that's on the poster. It looks like it's just Claudio and I. Hi,
Hey,
Claudio.
hey,
How
how
you
are you?
doing?
Good, good, good. How about you?
I'm all right. Maybe a little tired. Not sure. Just any big things happen for you in the past 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks since we've had the chance to chat and hang out.
Yeah, no, I've been doing some spots and that's it. And then just working a lot. How about you?
Well, it's I just solidified two things in the near future.
Hmm.
I'll be in Calgary for the Funny Fest.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
How long is that gonna happen for?
I'm only going to be there from the 3rd to the 7th. I'll
Okay,
leave on the morning of the 8th to come back for vaudeville.
okay.
And yeah, I think it's maybe two shows a night.
Nice, nice, nice.
So
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
yeah, 10 and 20-minute slots. So
Nice, nice, nice. So so you're doing one night 10 and the other night you'll be doing 20 as well?
no. Two slots a night
Oh, two slots a night. Okay, perfect,
because
perfect,
like
perfect.
that's several days, like the 3rd, the
Mm,
4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. So it's 5
mm.
days.
Awesome,
So
awesome,
about 10 shows.
awesome, awesome. You excited?
And hmm?
Are you
Yeah,
excited?
I am. I am. It's going to be a fun little festival. I'm sure. It's a
Oh, and I'm sure it will.
yeah. It's generally it's like a party festival. It's
Nice.
a festival that comedians enjoy going to hang out with other comedians.
Oh yeah, no,
So
yeah, no. That sounds good.
yeah, it's got less of that industry stress that
Oh
other
yeah,
festivals have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could
Yeah,
imagine. I could
yeah.
imagine. Yeah. So have you? I know. So I mentioned to you before off air if you've seen a new mom movie, Multiverse of Madness.
Hmm.
Uh, did you? So did you enjoy it?
It was all right.
Mm,
You know what? It was very Sam Raimi. Post
mm,
credit scenes, like
mm.
Michael Keaton. I just want to see everything Michael Keaton's in.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
just
absolutely.
I
Same.
just think it's a shame that they sort of pulled him out of the regular MCU universe.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh,
Speaking
spoilers!
of
Spoilers!
yeah,
Spoilers!
yeah, spoilers. Actually, no. I think because nobody has ever seen. Did you ever see Morbius? Actually, speaking of Michael Keaton,
Yeah,
did you like it?
yeah. Um, I never liked the character,
Mm-hmm.
but I think what I liked about Mom is the fact that Mom was a very Sam Raimi film, and I
Yeah.
enjoy what Sam
Yes.
Raimi does because he makes films fun.
Yes.
Uh, I almost have to say the Morbius film was a bit better for
Okay.
storyline.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, though, yeah, storyline. It was less confusing to watch, like visually,
Okay.
but I think that was sort of the beauty of the multiverse of madness
Okay.
was that it was confusing visually.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Uh,
yeah. And I guess that's what Sam Raimi tried to do with with the camera aspect, is just trying to confuse you since it was a multiverse of madness. But the reason why, two things why I brought up Morbius is number one, I was disappointed in that film, and
mm,
number two, Michael Keaton appears. Well,
yeah,
spoilers after the credits. I was about to say after the Keaton, but still, it was a disappointing film. But for me, what made Morbius was that one scene where he fights and Paul Ash is struggling with his lights. No, but for
you
me,
just
what
had to
made
hit it.
more yeah, exactly. Sometimes a good old hit is good. But no, Morbius, what made the film for me was the fact when he was fighting in slow. There was that one fight scene I like in particular is when he was fighting in slow motion. The first time with the henchmen, that scene
Mm.
was really. was something, but I don't know. I just couldn't wrap my head around Morbius. I just couldn't. I don't know what I don't. Oh, and the fact that there was Therese Gibbons in that film. I'm like, okay, why? And then you had the actor who played in Doctor Who. He was the bad guy, and I'm like, I don't know. I
Spoilers.
think yeah, spoilers. You know what? At this point, that's I'm sure nobody really saw Morbius. Like yeah, like even people who went to go see it at the movie theater, went to go see a movie at the movie theaters, is like, wow, okay, so Morbius is out. No one really went to go see it, and the fact that it came out on April Fools.
Mm.
So I'm like, yeah, okay. Everyone thought. I assume everyone thought that this film was one big joke. You know,
You know
but
what? I don't remember being overly excited by it. I think the ending was not great.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, like it's the contractual division of
mm-hmm,
Sony and Marvel,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? Where they have shared rights to that universe.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The character of Mobius was created in the 70s during like the vampire craze
Yeah,
before the Anne Rice vampire craze.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it just yeah, there's so much that's cheese in the character that's
So
really hard to
much.
shake off.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed. Again, I know spoilers, but by now it's already on video, on digital, because it's out of theaters. Because of how poorly it did. There was one scene that, and everyone thinks I'm crazy when I say this, but when Morbius goes and tests out his serum, and he goes into the bats, see to see if the bats are gonna bite him.
Yeah.
There's and I picked up on this as soon as he enters that in that little, whatever you want to call it, tunnel.
It's
There,
from the Dark Knight.
yes, thank you. I'm like, and then people are like, no, no, and then I'm like, no, I can't, no, I
Yeah, it
can't.
was the same visual effect. It was
Exactly. And I'm like, and because I was watching it in IMAX, I'm like, wait, and then I'm like, wait a minute, and then I was with a friend, and I'm like, like I heard of this tune before, and then as soon as the credits rolled, I'm like, Batman Begins, and then but I said it out loud. I'm like, and then my friend looks at me, and goes, what? Like that tune was in Batman Begins, guaranteed. Spoiler alert, and
Mhm.
hopefully Sony doesn't pick this up, and I'd be like, oh, they're gonna sue me for thinking of this, but still.
Yeah.
uh
Oh, the sorry, I hands at the camera. The other thing that I uh sort of like solidified this past week is we're going to do a Battlecom fan battle.
oh, nice. What, all right,
Yeah.
details.
So I have various not performers, actually, people who've been because we do like fan contests during the show, and so people who've been really good in responding to that, and followers of Battlecom, and we're going to be doing an episode with all of them as the battlers. So
Okay.
Eric and I, we've given them coaching. They're very much familiar with the format because they love the show,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, they've got their own episode of Battlecom. So that's going to be on May
Nice.
31st.
Nice. Are you excited for this?
I am because I mean they're witty people, and just seeing how they develop like in the Battlecom challenge format, right? Where
Nice,
it's
nice,
get to the
nice,
funny quick and then get off.
nice. Okay, okay. Do you have some topics for that night, or or it's or going to be
Yeah, I do.
all
Uh,
right.
we have. Oops, let me just. I'm just gonna bring it up so I can uh, take a look at it again. I feel so organized. The best events in a zombie apocalypse, which is a classic Battlecom battle.
Mhm.
The two coolest sorry, the coolest superpower. So they had to be specific about the type of the superpower,
Mm-hmm.
and the greatest sci-fi show of all time.
Okay, all right. Actually, no. Speaking of which, what is your favorite greatest sci-fi show of all time?
See, it's it's not about being right with this show with Battlecom.
Okay.
Battlecom is about being entertaining.
Yeah.
Because anytime anyone asks me what's my favorite this or favorite that, it's usually a snapshot of that moment,
Okay.
right? Like for example, I just started watching UFO.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I heard about that. Yeah. How
Are
was
you
it?
familiar?
I'm not too familiar, but everybody's been talking to me about that show, and I've been looking at some trailers for it. I'm like, all right, I'm like it's on my list to watch.
Okay, I don't think it's the same show you're thinking about. Because this is like a 19. Let me find the year.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
1973. Like Jerry Anderson production, and it's sort of like it's not exactly a prequel to Space 1999, but it was the
Okay, okay,
series that allowed them to do Space 1999.
okay, 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 okay.
And yeah, and it's live action where previously his other stuff had been with marionettes, like Thunderball X1 and Captain Scarlet and the Mysterians.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it has it's so like mods. Do you know what the mod culture was?
Nah,
England.
briefly, I don't know too much on it, but go ahead and explain.
Yeah, so it's like it's this retro futurism kind of thing, and it was actually like there was a music style that went with it, and fashion in England at the time, late '60s, early '70s, and it has that aesthetic like all through it, like the guy's haircuts, everything, the futuristic cars that they drive because it takes place in the near future. It's visually it's very interesting, and it's the idea aliens coming to Earth to harvest human organs, but
Oh, okay.
it's done. I just like, okay, set design is incredible, art direction is incredible. uh some of the shots are a little slow, some of it's a little slow paced, but I think that's because I've been raised with the short attention span of the
Hmm.
later generations that we have. uh but there's a certain beauty to it. I remember that it actually there was a line of toys that came out based on it,
Hmm.
uh because of the fact that it was just kind of crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. And where are you watching this? Did you download them or is it on streaming?
It's on Prime for free. So
Okay. Okay. I know because I don't have Prime. I'm one of those people who still have something called a Netflix, which
a
I, I'm
Netflix. Okay.
I'm planning on. I don't know. I'm planning on the Sony. Canceling my Netflix subscription.
Mm.
But
There's still a lot of good things on Netflix
oh,
though.
there is. There is. I mean, there are. It's just at some point, like they're raising the prices, and yes, there are some good choices, but when I get around to them, the choices are not there anymore, and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. But Amazon Prime, I'm like, I know because I think because I have either or. I don't have both of them because it's same at this point. Might as well pay for cable where you can get everything instead of paying different for each month for subscriptions for different
Well, you're
stream
paying for
services.
cable. That's another subscription service basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm like,
So
either or.
and you can't pick the time that it starts when like you and I both have odd hours with work.
Yeah.
right? We're out late or whatever. Cable, you're kind of stuck. I mean, you can PVR now. I guess that makes a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
difference.
It does, but not much. But
But there, when it comes to Netflix, Netflix has some great shows
oh, they do. They do. They
like
really
Love,
do.
Death, and Robots, Russian Dolls.
Yeah, I still have to watch season 2 of Love of Death and Robots because I saw the
Well,
first
season
one.
3 just came out.
Yeah, I know. I know. Let's see, because I recently watched season 1 and I loved it. So I'm watching season 2. I'm only like 3 episodes in, but season 3 is on my I definitely wanna watch it. Unless because I don't want to be the kind of guy who just skips season 2, goes on to season 3. Like what I mean, even though like it doesn't really follow each
Yeah,
episode.
because though there is I from the trailer of season 3 that I saw, there's actually a return to one of the universes,
Yeah.
uh,
So
uh, which is the three robot tourists. So
yeah. So I'm not gonna I'm not
yeah,
gonna skip. I'm
the
not gonna skip.
Russian Doll.
Okay.
It's an amazing series.
Okay. Okay. What is it
It,
about
it's
though?
there's so many little details in it. Well, I don't want to say what it's about, though. It's got a Groundhog Day feel,
Okay.
because like this is where I'm not gonna give a spoiler, because this one is so cool to watch, like unveil. And it's like about 3 episodes in, you begin to notice like little things that are changing each time, and then it becomes like I had to go back when I hit about episode 3 in the first season. I had to go back and rewatch the first episode to make sure I wasn't imagining things,
Mm-hmm.
because it is so cool in how
Nice.
it's done. And then mid season it takes a shift, and yeah, it's just
Nice. Nice. I know. Honestly,
and
because
it's also got like a lot of New York cool.
okay. 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 You know, so same thing I felt about Westworld because my because I love season 1 and 2. They're because I'm thinking of getting them. Then I saw season 3.
Hmm.
The first few episodes of season 3 were really good, and then it just for me it just ended flat. I'm like, oh, like sort of a disappointing kind of flat. Now there's a season 4 coming out. I'm like, all right, because no spoilers. Season 3 takes place outside
Westworld.
Westworld, yes. And then
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, because season 1, 2, I'm like, I'm imagining how the outside world is, and then they don't explain much, and you're like, oh, all right, well, this is what it is. All right, but I'm still gonna buy the series because I like the concept. I like those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I am looking forward to season 4. I sort of like, I mean, let's face it, it's based on a novel from when, the 1970s or earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Crichton novel. And is it Michael Crichton who wrote Westworld?
Give me a second.
Uh, yeah, Michael Crichton. So I
Okay,
was right.
perfect, perfect.
And there was a series of books. But the thing is, I think it did a really good spiritual adaptation, and the idea that they sort of moved it into a more modern feel and look,
Mm-hmm.
like, was a good plan.
Okay.
And it was it definitely was a cool series. It definitely. Oh, I mean, Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park, so this is just Jurassic robots kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Was
Yeah.
the original, and now they've taken it to the point of the development of AI, the singularity event, and what that would
Yeah.
mean for
Yeah.
humanity, uh, and an artificially produced like good versus evil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which the robots themselves have sort of set up among
Okay.
themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I really like how they took, like, normally, like, people will get peeved off if people screw with something from their childhood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was very upset with the Wheel of Time because they sort of destroyed a lot of the impetus, the lot of the moral grounding and the origin of a lot of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, like, why am I not okay with that, but I'm okay with them completely changing Westworld? So,
Okay.
different people are going to feel different things about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. No, that's it. No, to be honest with you, going back to films, like I haven't been. There's only. I'm trying to think how many films there's on theaters. There's only one film that I enjoyed, and that was The Northman. That was not a comic book movie. Apart from that, everything else, I was
With the
disappointed.
CGI Wangs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
You,
Yeah.
the
It was.
because they're swinging swords but fighting nude.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
they tucked them away and put CGI Wangs in just so the actors wouldn't accidentally, lob one off.
Just in case, you know. I was
Yeah.
no, that's it. How about you? Any films that you're like, this is one of my favorite films of 2022.
I have to check the year it came out, but I saw a couple really surprisingly great films.
Mm-hmm.
There was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That was just
Mm-hmm.
it's a perfectly good film for the escapism. It's funny, but it's serious. It hits real issues, and then has an ending that gives hope, right? And
Okay.
not just hope for in that movie universe, but hope in the world,
Mm-hmm.
which is a perfect kind of antidote what we need. When we're taking a look at the news coming from the United States or in Russia and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
There was, what was I read today? There was something about a Republican Party member, wanted to have a moment of silence for 60 police officers who lost their lives in the past year,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of failed to mention that 44 of those were deaths from COVID. Right, so the
Yeah.
biggest killer of cops in America was COVID. And then the other movie was The Outfit,
Okay.
which, like,
Yes.
gangster films are kind of cool,
Okay.
but this gangster film gave it a new level of cool.
Okay.
I
Nice.
really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It was thinky. It almost seemed like it was produced from a stage play
Okay.
because it was all happened in these 2 or 3 rooms of a tailor shop, of a suit
Yeah.
maker. He was a
Okay.
cutter, not a tailor. He made it very specific that he was a cutter. A cutter is somebody who's trusted to cut
Yeah.
the cloth. A
Yeah.
tailor is just someone who sews.
Okay. Okay.
So
Awesome.
so it gets into, and it's set 1930s, I guess,
Okay.
1930s Chicago, but with this
Okay.
British expat who's living there, and
Awesome.
it's
Awesome.
who gets sort of mixed up in the criminal underworld, just because he wants to be passive and not cause a stir, and eventually a stir causes him to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it because it does look interesting.
yeah. It's really think would be in your vein of films that you would like.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it soon. I just haven't had the time to watch a few movies that I want on my
You went to
list.
see Morbius though. Just
Yeah, yeah, no, that was the only regret. I wish I have not seen Morbius, but if I could go back in time just for that specific moment, I'd be like, no, no, don't go see Morbius. But I saw it. I'm like, ugh.
and the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I saw it twice. That's how good I liked it. That's how good it was.
I really loved a lot of the supporting characters, but Robert
Hmm.
Pattinson left me a little flat. He seemed to be a little one note. I
Okay.
understand that he's sort of like still in the development of the Batman Bruce Wayne personas.
Mhm.
Like that's what they're trying to portray in that. But
Mhm.
like Paul Dano was amazing.
Yeah, Paul Dano was really really good. He also made the film, but no, apart from that, I
Colin
love this.
Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. There's gonna be a new Penguin series coming out soon.
Really?
Yeah, with
Okay.
Colin Farrell. Yeah, it was. I like. You know what? I liked it, and then well, but for me was the cinematography. That's what drew the film for me.
Hmm.
But you're right. Because I saw the film twice, and the first time that's what I thought about Robert Pattinson. It was like a one dimensional, but then I saw it again, and I'm like, all right, well, he's still in his emo phase. Still trying to.
Yeah. Well, it's like he walked without moving his neck. Like when he's not in the costume. Like Michael Keaton couldn't move his head
Yeah.
in Batman, like 1989 Batman.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
this one, it's he's walking like up the stairs or whatever. His head was always cocked exactly kind of the same way every shot, with this Fallout Boy look.
Maybe he had and maybe Robert Pattinson had neck injuries and he couldn't move his neck. I don't know.
Maybe, but that's the thing is, it's like this filming has taken months. So
Yeah, and I also liked how Andy Serkis. He to me he's the second best Alfred
mm,
in live action Batman. Obviously, the first one is Michael Caine, and then
yeah,
Andy Serkis. It was even though he did not have that much of screen time, I still enjoyed his presence. You can't go wrong with Andy Serkis.
yeah. Andy Serkis is a guy that capitalized on being able to play, like just play, and he realizes that's what he does for a living. Like,
Yeah.
what was his first big role? Was Golem,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It was Gollum, and then after that, he played. Then he was King Kong,
Yeah,
and actually, no,
and
he had two roles in King Kong.
and yeah, he did a lot of things, and he capitalized on a lot of that, and then he started picking roles that were fun. I think he was
Yeah,
in
and he
Pan's Labyrinth too.
yeah he was in Pan. No, he was not. He was not Pan's, but he directed the second Venom.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did. It's just that he didn't want to put an he didn't want to put an Andy Serkis film because he probably knew how bad that film was
Yeah,
going to be.
no, that was not a
Yeah,
good film.
that was no, that was. But you know what? It was still better than Morbius, in my opinion. It just
Then, yeah,
Yeah, it's just that film felt rushed, first of all, and second of all, that was not the Carnage that we like. I don't know about you, but that was not the Carnage that I imagined. And I was watching this. I'm like, they watered him down. Lovely.
yeah. I would. You know what? I think they're going to be doing a Craven the Hunter film.
Is that because they've been in talks with that for a long time?
I know. I'm more like I wasn't really a fan of Venom in the comics. I wasn't really a fan of Morbius in the comics.
Hmm.
Right? And like the thing is, they tried to update Morbius slightly, but I like Luke Cage also came out of that same era, and a bunch of white writers writing a black character. But when they updated it for the Netflix,
Hmm.
it was decent.
Okay.
Right? It was probably my third or fourth
Hmm.
favorite of the Marvel Netflix series,
Okay.
because Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Defenders, uh,
Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher. I never liked Punisher much as a character, but I did appreciate the Netflix series.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, because I mean, Punisher started out as a villain and they made him a hero. Same with Venom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess I mean I believe in redemption arcs, but
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
like
That's
Spider-Man was called a villain, but he was never a villain. You know,
it's true.
Daredevil was called a villain, but he was
But
never a
you
villain.
never, yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, and then yeah, going back to the second Venom though, was garbage. That's all I'm gonna say. It was garbage.
Mm.
What a disappointment.
I saw a question on Reddit,
Mm-hmm.
which had me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the most overrated movie of all time?
I have an answer for that, but if you want to go ahead, you
No,
answer
no.
first.
Let's hear your answer.
Spider-Man: No Way Home. No, no, hold on. That's it. The recent Spider-Man that came out, that was overrated. That was really overrated.
Okay.
I like. Okay, so I have pros and cons of this film. Okay, so
All right.
I will do the pros first. The pros first. I was excited to see the three Spider-Mans together. I was excited to see Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I was excited to see them together. And for me, the scene that's going to stand out that I really enjoyed of this film is when they were towards the end. They're running on the Statue of Liberty to go face their final enemy, and they're all web slinging. That was great. And then they had that superhero landing of them three. Beautiful. It was. I'm like, wow. Thank God I saw that in theaters. Um, Obviously, the villains. You have Doctor Octavius that came back. Then you had a little bit of the Sam. Basically the villains, and then the villains that were useless in the third Spider-Man film. They kind of redeemed themselves with this film, and the fact that Jamie Foxx came back as Electro. You know, and he really redeemed himself from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So the character arcs, I enjoyed it. Oh, and let's not forget the Green Goblin. William Dafoe did an amazing job, in my opinion, as
Mm.
the Green Goblin. Especially for me, is also. So I mentioned there's one scene that stood out for me, but I actually remember it now as we're talking about it. The second scene is when um, when Peter Parker fights the Goblin in the condos in the condo hallway, and then as Peter Parker keeps hitting the Green Goblin, you hear that maniacal laugh by William Dafoe. That to me, I had goosebumps when I was watching that scene.
Yeah.
The cons are, what? Everything else was just the story really did not make sense, but I took those cons out of the equation, and I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna let it enjoy. I'm just gonna enjoy this film for what it is. Um, and then I also was telling myself that okay, so I hope it's not gonna be a light or a comical film, which I know Spider-Man is supposed to be like a
Why is that?
comical-ish. Yes, exactly. Thanks, but it was too much of that. That's what ruined the film for me. So that was my biggest con of that film.
You know what? There was so much in that film that I really liked.
Like what?
The like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Uh, they didn't just like sort of take his character from the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and plunk him there. No, he talked about the PTSD
Yeah.
of like losing Gwen, of how he went into a dark hole and how he got himself out of it.
Yeah, and when he
And
saved the oh no, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and same with like Toby Maguire was
Yeah.
he has aged from there,
Yeah.
which was great.
And also the two scenes that when Andrew Garfield saves MJ. That was and then
Yeah,
when Toby
which is
Maguire.
his full redemption arc.
Yeah,
Finish it.
exactly. And also when Holland is about to kill the Green Goblin, but then Toby Maguire stops him.
Yeah,
Because he grabbed that. I find that was a good homage to the first Spider-Man with
yeah.
Maguire. That was good. What else did you like about the film?
I You know what? I as much as I love the old comic books, I loved the fact that they gave Uncle Ben's classic line to Aunt May.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
I think it had the right emotional impact at that point. Um, I also liked some of the behind the scenes stuff that I had heard in the fact that like Alfred Molina wouldn't do it unless they CGI'd him young, but
Hmm.
then William Defoe wouldn't do it if they were going to CGI him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no. William Dafoe wanted to do all his action sequences. He didn't want a
Yeah,
stuntman.
and Alfred Molina didn't want to do any of them.
Yeah, which was I. You know what? Also, I was hoping it didn't show the Uncle Ben death again. The same,
Yeah.
the same thing with the Batman. I'm I was hoping that they were not gonna show Batman. Then I'm like,
Well,
oh, thank
they
God.
they never retold the origin of this Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, thank
Of the
God,
Tom Holland Spider-Man. They haven't
thank God.
redone it because it's been done.
Yeah, hey, thank God.
And yeah, um,
Who do
but
you?
there was oh, what was it? Oh yeah, the Multitude of Madness. Talking with Sam Raimi, it was good seeing Bruce
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's good seeing Bruce Campbell, in it because it's a Sam Raimi film,
of course.
and,
You can't have
and
Bruce Campbell without Sam Raimi.
yeah. Well, no, you can. It's just the bigger the budget, the smaller
Oh
the
yeah,
role.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So now
Bruce
you just
Campbell does some stuff without Sam Raimi, and
yeah.
it shows that they need to work together.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think they should, but
Yeah.
um, you know,
But yeah, other stuff.
what were your
The
cons?
well, I'm not into the cons yet.
Oh, okay, good.
I liked how maybe the spider sense is more
Mm,
trapped to Peter Parker's soul because when he got
mm-hmm.
knocked out of Spider-Man's body,
Yeah, yeah,
and Doctor Strange was just blown away that he was able to do stuff.
yeah. Okay,
Uh, it sort of it sort of expanded the character in an interesting way.
okay, okay.
And I they never really said it, but I think I felt like it was sort of related to the spider sense, as in with him not trying to consciously control it, his arms were moving to stop Doc from Doctor Strange from grabbing the box.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a I like the expansion of Ned's character a little bit. I liked MJ. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I Zendaya is a good actor. I don't think she gets used properly enough, but I
Mm-hmm.
think she does a good job in the Spider-Man films. I think they kind of have a better grip on her there.
Okay.
Like I felt she was underutilized in Dune, Villeneuve's
Yeah,
Dune.
yeah, yeah. You know what? Uh, it was a hype of like, oh, Zendaya's gonna be in Dune, and then whenever she's either a voiceover or she has like just 2 3 lines she says
Yeah, or
at
she's
some
just
point.
standing there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Apart from that, Dune was a good film.
yeah, visually stunning. It's just my problem with Dune is the source material it's based on
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's all about white savior and colonialism. Uh,
Basically, yeah,
yeah, basically,
yeah,
and trying to make that look heroic. Um,
yeah.
there's what else was there? There's yeah, the cons for uh it was No Way Home, I think. Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was that the last uh I didn't like the look of the Sandman, and I realized they couldn't get the same actor back, but
No, it was the same actor. It was
I
Thomas Hayden
thought
Church.
so he actually was there.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Okay.
They just cut him out a lot, but he was there. I had to think about it and I had to look at IMDb, but it was him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very forgettable in the film because he didn't do much in the film. Kind of like the lizard, he didn't do much in the
Yeah.
film, but he was there. He was there. He just did two gigantic things. No, I find just like Electro. Electro was there, but
Yeah. It's strange that they didn't use him a little bit better.
yeah.
For a while, I actually thought that Hayden Church had passed away. So I just double checked to make sure I was wrong. And yeah, I'm wrong. So
Okay. Yeah, no, he's been doing a lot of films where just like he's there, but he's not doing anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine he made good money with Wings.
Yeah.
So you know, he can sit back and relax a little bit, enjoy the good
Exactly.
life.
Exactly.
But yeah, there was very little, like the fact that going forward, Happy's going to be a little bit screwed.
Yeah.
There's stuff that was set up in that is. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
I really like to know how Venom is gonna be used in the Spider Verse.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They brought him from the Spider Verse to the
Yeah,
Marvel verse.
exactly. So I'm curious, like who's gonna get who's gonna get infected this time?
Yeah,
If it's gonna
yeah,
be Garfield or I think it's gonna be Holland. I think it's gonna be Holland's story now.
yeah. I really sort of liked how they reminisced about their, oh, what's the craziest villain you ever fought?
Yeah,
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 it's,
yeah. That was
fought a Russian guy in a rhino suit. Oh wow.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did fight a black gooey alien. Oh yeah, I fought a big purple alien,
yeah.
but in space. And then what?
Yeah, that moment made a film. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, there was an innate goodness to all of the Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and it kind of shined when they were together. So
Yeah,
that was cool.
it was.
Yeah, but on the Reddit, sorry, because we were talking about most overrated films. On the Reddit, two came up a lot. One was Avatar, because it's Fern Gully, but the visuals are outstanding.
Hmm. True.
A lot of people mentioned that. And I think the other one people mentioned a lot where it was Titanic. So they're both Cameron films.
Yeah.
Because it was such a slow pacing, but it was the cinematography and the attention to detail again
Yeah.
that made it. Like he started out in art direction, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
For go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say because I don't know if you've seen a new trailer for the second Avatar, but the visuals look exactly the same as the first film.
Well, they have to be
And
consistent,
yeah,
but
and
it's going to be a 3D IMAX experience because it was a roller coaster ride. That
oh,
was like
it really was.
I can't remember really any lines from the first one. I remember a theory I had from the first one, which
Which was?
no one has expanded upon, that I think would make a so much more interesting film.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason the guy in the wheelchair
Yeah,
was
Jake
there,
Sully. Yeah, Jake Sully.
Jake
Yeah,
Sully was there, was because his twin brother,
yeah,
who was a scientist, was killed while visiting Earth, coming back to Earth,
yeah.
right? But so they had to use somebody who had the same genetic makeup to go into the whatever the Pandora people, the Navi person
Mm-hmm.
body
Mm-hmm.
that they made that was synced up to his genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And he's ex-military.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be interesting to find out that the corporation actually killed the brother, the twin, because they thought the military guy would be easier to control. Because because they
Or
mentioned the fact that they brought in this military guy, like they were going, okay, he knows how to understand orders.
yeah, or what if all this was a big plot twist and the Navi are actually ex-military military people, and they killed off the brother because the brother was trying to expose a secret, but then they killed him.
What?
Exactly.
That makes no sense because the Navi never visit Earth.
I know, no, but that's what they want you to believe. But then imagine they visited Earth the
No,
entire
no,
time.
it was a random crime event, is how they described it.
Yeah, yeah,
He was getting mugged, and we've never caught the person who did it.
yeah. Probably could be one of maybe the Navi leader was was in human form, and then that's how it happened. I'm just trying to because Avatar. I remember when it came out, it was cool visually, but then I'm
Yeah.
trying to look back. I'm like, but it's
Like I can't quote anything really from the film. I remember that little plot twist because I built this little micro
yeah,
plot in my head
yeah,
to kind of explain why the corporation is so bad.
yeah.
But the only other thing I remember is watching like those dandelion puffs come flying past me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I've seen a number of 3D films, like not a lot, but most times it's just stuff coming at you. There's nothing immersive.
yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
Avatar made it immersive.
Yeah, exactly. But this one's gonna be interesting because it's gonna be underwater.
Underwater?
Yeah, because the 50%, 50% of the film will be underwater. I'm like, I just hope it's not gonna be a story like those because now Jake Sully has a family now, so I just
Mm.
hope it's not gonna be one of those. Well, now we're gonna focus it on the kids. Okay, I will be. I hope you understand what I'm going to say. I hope it's not going to be a kids movie. That's why I hope it's not going to turn out to be. And I think Vin Diesel is going to be in here because there were rumors about it. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think
So
Vin Diesel.
they have to mention family. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes, yes. Sam Worthington's character has to say, you hurt my family," and then Vin Diesel is going to say, "I didn't mean to hurt your family," and then they fight. I hope that's going to happen at least, but we don't know.
There's another film that did get mentioned, and
Mhm.
I had a little bit of a problem with it being mentioned on the list of overrated films.
Mhm.
Though I do kind of feel that there is a reason for it to be there. Is Pulp Fiction.
Okay, why?
Well, a lot of the people who were commenting on Pulp Fiction being overrated
Mhm.
were younger people who only saw it on video. Right? So when Pulp Fiction came out, it was original. The pacing was crazy. You kind of needed to see it twice to get it.
Okay.
And it was just so new at that point.
Okay.
And it was, well acted, well directed, well shot. But then that became the style that all these indie directors and even some studios tried to mimic
Yeah.
for like 5 years after.
Yeah.
So for anyone who watches it after,
Mhm.
it's derivative. They just don't realize that is the main point. Now, granted, he kind of copied and pasted styles from a lot of different genres of films, like kung fu films and like exploitation films and 1970s type films. But he mashed it together in a new and interesting way. And he sort of brought things back, these elements that had sort of gone missing from films.
Yeah, and also I find that Bruce Willis was not Bruce Willis in this film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
and it was yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned. Well, not funny, but I like the point that what you made. Since you're bringing this up, like I like the fact that Tarantino used props for his upcoming films, like Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards. Then there was that. Yeah, no, basically it was just a shout out to his future films that he was going to produce. and I find those props were used very well because when Bruce Willis took the sword, and then he took a baseball, I think it was a baseball bat that he took to go save Ving Rhames at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that was a beautiful, that was a perfect homage. That was really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Which I think is more accidental because I don't think he had those films planned out when he was, you know.
All right, I take back what I said, Tarantino. Damn it.
Well, no, I think it might. I think you're putting the egg before the chicken,
Yeah, exactly.
or the
Exactly.
chicken before the egg, whatever. Um,
I think it's yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think eggs came first, by the way.
That's the that would be a good debate. Like we have to have Mike and AJ here, so we have like an hour just debating which one
It's the
came
eggs.
first.
Eggs
But
came first.
how could the eggs come first without the chicken?
Easy because eggs were are dropped by reptiles. Birds evolved from
True.
reptiles.
Okay. Now, how did
Answered the
reptiles?
question.
So
Hmm?
how did the so how did reptiles get there? Ah,
Isn't every omelet a chicken omelet?
that's debatable. Isn't every egg an ostrich egg? I like messing with people on this.
All right. And there's one other thing that got mentioned that I thought was interesting was
Sure.
the idea that like the Warriors. Have you watched the Warriors?
When I was very young,
What did
that
you
was
think of it?
I have to rewatch it because the only thing I remember. Okay, before we continue, was that the film where the antagonist was clamping his bottles and then he
Yeah.
was okay? It's that film.
Warriors come out
Yes.
and
Yes.
play.
And then because I was watching with a friend of mine when I was younger, and we're like, wait a minute, why aren't any of these guys using guns? That was a question that we were asking ourselves. But yeah, that's the only scene that stands out to me as Warriors. That I'm like, oh my god, this is cheesy.
Yeah. And that was see, I watched it with somebody who grew up in New York,
Okay.
who was born in maybe the late 80s, early 90s.
Uh huh.
And they immediately went, this isn't gangsters. Right. But at the time, like the time it came out, that was what gangs looked like.
I want to be. You know what? I want that
I mean,
guy.
the baseball furies were might have been a bit extreme, but yeah.
Okay. I want the antagonist clamping his bottle bottles and sorry, the beer bottles. I want him on my team. Just to go, people. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is hilarious. I want to use him as a distraction. That's how great this guy is.
Uh, that actor has done so much stuff. I'm just gonna check with IMDb to remember his name.
There should be a sequel to the Warriors with all the same like trying to bring back the same cast, but
Like
like in their
Swan and
60s. Yeah, like 60s and 70s now, and then they're like, I remember back then New York has changed. And then you see the same guy, he's probably in a wheelchair, and he's like, Warriors, yeah, and he's using the
oh, there
exact
was a
same beer bottle.
1999 TV series and a 2023 TV series with the same name.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, this is weird. Did I spell it wrong? Okay, it's The Warriors. Yeah, because there was actually shootings in theaters, gang violence in theaters when it came out.
Oh wow. Okay. I
Like it got banned in New York City.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, no. There was the same thing. For example, like Gangster Squad. Because speaking of shootouts in theaters, the original ending of Gangster Squad was supposed to be the gangsters were watching a film, and there was a scene of where they saw a shootout scene, but then the police officers they stood in back of the screen and and they were shooting down the gangsters. They had to redo that scene because of an occurrence that happened in real life at a movie theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Warrior, I wouldn't be surprised if it got banned in New York City at that time. Yeah.
Here's something. Yeah, the guy with the beer bottles. is
Hmm.
in Ray Donovan the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He's still acting. Like he's got a film called Night Music, which is coming out soon.
Okay. Perfect.
Uh, yeah, he was in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
He's in John Wick Chapter 2.
As who?
He's Charlie.
Charlie. Charlie. Charlie.
I think he's another assassin.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That was
Like,
him. All right.
yeah, he's been around. Like,
Okay. Awesome.
he's done Blue Bloods. He's done Gossip Girl. He's done Law and Order.
Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Okay.
He was actually in Louis as well. Yeah. Wow. He's done Law and Order Special Victims Unit. He's done Law and Order Criminal Intent. He's done Law and Order. All different characters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
wow.
Nice.
Justice Twelfth Night or What You Will, the TV movie. He's been in was in the Trojan War.
Yeah.
The movie, not the actual war. He's not that old.
Oh yeah. Obviously not.
Crooklyn.
Okay.
He was in Crooklyn,
Okay.
right? Oh yeah, of course he was in The Crow. How could I forget?
The Crow is easy to forget. Yeah.
Hmm?
The Crow is somewhat forgettable, but because I saw the sequels and I saw one with David Boreanaz, the Crow, Wicked Prayer, and I'm like, why did they destroy something that was really good? I'm talking about the first two, and then they make this, which was it was oh my god! Did you watch the Crow, Wicked Prayer?
No, I haven't. I just saw the original. Or if I have, I blocked it from my mind.
It's. I'm like, why David Boreanaz? Why? And why? And you know, and yeah, it had David Boreanaz and Tara Reid in the film, and I'm like, why? Just and because I saw when I was younger, I'm like, this is a good movie, and I'm like, let me rewatch it, and I'm like, oh no, oh god, it was a straight to DVD and VHS kind of film back in the day.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the David Patrick Kelly's IMDb, and
Mhm.
like he's in K-Pax, right?
Yeah.
He's in Last Man Standing. Uh, where is he? He's in Malcolm X.
Okay. Which is
Uh,
another really good movie.
yeah. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Okay.
He's in Miami Vice. He's actually in Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
And then he's also in After School Specials, ABC
Okay.
After School Specials, one episode labeled Date Rape.
Okay.
He's also in Dreamscape, which he's in 48 Hours. Oh,
Okay.
fuck. He plays the same character in 48 Hours as in Beverly Hills Cop, which is weird.
Nice.
Oh, man. Same character name in The Warriors, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop.
Wow. Wow. Originality at its best, huh?
No, it's. I think it's sort of like a nod, like they do in the fact that the X Files, Homicide: Life on the Street, Smoking Gun, and or Smoking Gunman, Lone Gunman
Mm-hmm.
are all in the same universe.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
you've not heard that theory that like it's Homicide: Life on the Street, and I think isn't that one linked to The Wire? So The Wire happens in the same universe as the X Files.
I will not go with that theory because I like both of those television series and I will not put them in the same universe.
Well, the thing is, there's links. There's things that appear in both. There's actors who play the same characters
Oh
in
yeah,
both.
yeah, that's true. But I'm like, I'm not going with that theory. No, I like The Wire. No, The last season of The Wire could have been better, but overall, The Wire, I enjoy it.
Hmm.
I enjoy it, but yeah. So yeah,
All right. Well, we are overdue for hanging up at this point. So
yeah.
thanks for hanging out. And
Hey, no
you feeling
problem.
well? You feeling okay?
Yeah. How about you?
I'm all right.
Okay.
I say
Okay.
that as a man who says I'm all right. He's
And then he
wearing a
gets
hat
off. He goes,
inside.
yeah. He gets off. Goes, oh man, my back hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I gotta spend my day being a bit more productive. All right.
Yeah.
But this
All right.
has been productive. Thank you, Claudio.